Hey there, if it's Tuesday, obviously it's movie reviews and more. Hey, I'm Brian Sebastian, and obviously we're streaming on Talk 4 TV, Talk 4 Media, K4 HD Radio, streaming on over 100 outlets, all at the same time as usual around the world. Where are we at now? We're at 75 million views and counting. That's actually closer to 78, but I just haven't changed the numbers yet. But I'm happy about that. Also, Women on TV.tv, iTube 247 out of Franklin, Tennessee, and the Worldwide TV Network, which was formerly the Women's Broadcast TV channel. So the interesting thing about this, Howard is spinning around. There must be storms in Nashville. Anytime he spins around, there's something going on in Tennessee. Tosh is going to be popping in any minute, so won't Terry, so we'll do that. I'm glad that my friend Rachel Ann Roberts, Chef Rachel Roberts from Houston, Texas, is here because she always has a lot to say. See how Howard just pops in? He's just spinning around, and he just pops in. And then from Brentwood, Tennessee, actor, dancer, all-around cool guy. He looks really, really good tonight. Howard Wiggins. And he's going to talk about what he's wearing because I like that jacket. I don't know what it is, but he's going to tell us about it later. And I see his two paintings in the back too. And we'll find out that he's probably in room number 101 because he's always in a different room. Right, Rachel? We've only seen one room twice.
I know.
That's it. That's it. I believe it's a mansion. It's not his condo, as he says.
Very funny.
And the fascinating thing about this is, I've been waiting for this guy. He's a sought-after consultant and he's a speaker. He founded Corey and Associates, and I like this. And he's known as that taxman. He's also been on Success Profile magazines, and I found him kind of funny. And when we hooked up about 3 months ago, I said he's got to be on the show. So he's the first one to come on from Easy Way Network. He is known as the taxman, Albert Taxman Corey. And then with that, I've been looking for these other two to come on. This is interesting because Holly, my friend, they're both her clients. Who would have known? We had her mom on last week, which was quite interesting. So she's a producer, actress, writer, and now she's a director. Yeah. I didn't know. Well, I did know this. She's also a singer, but she wasn't promoting that she's a singer. She's hiding it. She's got a great voice still. And she comes from the world of Disney, too. She's going to talk about that also. And she's done a lot of hits. And yes, I've seen all your movies because I'm a movie whore. I have to see all of these things. So with that, I miss being at Hollywood Shorts because I was in Illinois last week, but I always am a supporter of shorts. We love shorts here on Movie Reviews and More. They're really, really important. So when it comes to those things like that, it's also important. Mother-daughter entertainment, that founder, that CEO, I like the things that she's doing, and I love the guitars in the back. She's also an ambassador for mental health, which is really, really important. We support that because of Terry and a few other our friends like that for awareness for ties, Isabella Blake Thomas. And because of her mom, I'm already going to make you part of the more part of us because your mom's become part of us due to last week's show. And I didn't know that your mom was dating our other friend. She didn't tell me about this, Sean, who's part of Movie Reviews and More too. Who would have known? So we go from Sean, we go from the mother to the daughter. How interesting.
I know, it's a family affair.
Well, you are going to be a family of the More affair now.
I love that. I love it. All the more the merrier.
Absolutely. And so this one's interesting. Not only any of my friends from the Soviet Union, Ukraine, they're all hardworking. Every single one of my friends. I have to say, I used to be able to say Dobe Dutra and everything like that, but I'm still working on parts in my Russian. But when you're classically trained vocalists, and you've got over 50 million when it comes to your viewership on your music videos, which is great because it's always about the views. And let's see, I love Pleasure Is Mine, went viral. I knew Tosh was going to pop up if I was talking about a singer. And it's always about that went with 1 million views on TikTok. That's a great thing because I don't know how you did it, but I'm sure you're going to tell us. But the other thing about that, when Star Magazine, OK Magazine, Us Weekly finds you adorable and they like you, that's a great thing. Because that's not easy. And when you're that Grammy-winning artist and that philanthropist, well, I liked you already. So here you go on that. It's always about that song Hope, and Hope is about a song for humanity. You get to tell us what your name is after all of that I talked about. Go ahead.
My name is ALYA. I really appreciate all the attention, all the kind words, and I'm here to talk about everything that happened with me, tell my story. I'm very excited to hear everybody else as well.
And since you're speaking, you get to start up with your story. Let's talk about you. You guys start off young and strong, and there isn't anything that you really can't do, hardworking. And then, so when did you know you wanted to be a singer?
oh my gosh, very early on. I remember myself, very little girl, participate in every single competition you can only imagine. In Soviets, we didn't have it as robust as a system here in America when you have like American Idols and all the great like national shows. We didn't have that in Soviets, but whatever I could find, and I was born not in a capital. I was born in a very tiny little suburb town, and whatever I could find on a regional level, I was there. I made my own first money actually caroling in the streets during Christmas season. Back then, we lived in Ukraine, what's right now Ukraine, in Lviv, if somebody knows a little bit of geography. So I remember that really well. And that was the moment. I don't know if I was realizing back then that I want to be a singer, but I loved so much this freedom that arts give you, the freedom and the attention that you get when you go out there and you share your gift. And I mean, I was just keep dreaming, and I still like when somebody asks, okay, I'll tell you who you are, and I still feel like that same little girl that just kept chasing her dream.
See, I love that. So, Corey, I'm going to set all of this stuff up for you because I'm going to come to you last and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So, Isabella, it's always interesting when I love writer, producers, actors, and then they become directors because it's just a matter of time. But you got to start with your singing too, because you got a great singing voice too. And I'm sure Tosh, maybe I've heard a little bit because Tosh is our singer. I can't sing for anything. Rachel sings coffee talk in the morning. That's her singing. So, it's all about that. So, Isabella, talk about this. Talk about mother and daughter entertainment, because that's important. And talk about what Holly Shorts was for you last week. Was it last week? Yeah,
It just ended on Sunday. It just ended.
Talk about that for a lot of people who haven't been to that in Hollywood, California.
Totally. I mean, it has, well, first of all, those past 10 days ending on Sunday have been absolutely crazy and wonderful. I mean, any festival that's 10 days is a whirlwind. It just always is, because you devote so much time to attending and seeing as many movies and panels as you can. So Holly Shorts is a fantastic festival. For those who don't know, it is exclusively short films. So it is anything in short form content. I believe they've got some podcasts now, which is cool. They're opening up some categories. But it is short form content. There's no features in it. And it was my directorial debut, a documentary called The Story of Terry Moore, about the wonderful 95-year-old actress who was nominated for an Oscar in 1953. She was married to Howard Hughes. I mean, the stories from Terry are just endless. And we became best friends after a movie we did together in 2019. And so last year, I was sitting there with my mum and I said, I want people to know Terry's story from her perspective, because she's written books and she's done interviews, but they're always about very specific points in her life, and most of them are about her marriage to Howard Hughes. So yes, I touch on that because it's what everyone wants to know about, but there's so much more to Terry and who she is. So I was very lucky that my directorial debut got into Holly Shorts, and it premiered at Holly Shorts on Saturday, which I was sweating a lot when that happened. It was very nerve-wracking because when you're directing, it's very different than being the actor, because you do everything when you're directing and you're from the beginning through the end. So it was more nerve-wracking than I would have assumed, but it went really well. Everyone loved it, and I'm very grateful that Holly Shorts premiered it. So that was Holly Shorts, which is the most recent 10 days of my life. And then Mother-Daughter Entertainment, I founded that with my mum about 8-9 years ago now. And we founded it because we wanted to start making movies together. So I've been an actress for, I worked out the other day, nearly 20 years, which is a little scary. But I started producing 8 years ago when my mum started directing 10 years ago. And so we just kind of decided, we want to put stuff together. We want to do it together, and we want to make good projects with good people. So we decided to create a name, and that became Mother-Daughter Entertainment. And so since then, we've made, it's like over 20 features or something together under this banner. And it has just been another whirlwind of a journey, but one that I wouldn't trade for anything. So there's a lot of mixed stuff going on with all my slashes, but MD and the documentary are kind of the big things at the moment.
I like that. And so I'm not an actor, as I always say. I'm not that actor, but there's a bunch of actors here. So we're going to start with Rachel first. Rachel, tell you who you are, everything about you, what you're doing, followed by Howard and then Tosh.
Okay, my name is Rachel Roberts, and I'm I guess you could say a little chef in Houston, Texas.
home chef. I do cooking shows. Sometimes I'm going to be going a cooking show coming up. That's exciting. It's a comedy cooking show. So I like that. But I also do a morning show called Coffee Talk, and you can see that on all social media platforms. And yeah, that's about all I can talk about. There's some other fun things that I've been asked to do, but yeah, we'll wait on that.
Howard?
I'm Howard Wiggins. I play a billionaire on Passion TV. You can go to my Facebook page and watch that. It's kind of like a little mini soap opera. I'm kind of and then I got another movie coming out Without Warning. And then Terry Moore, I love. And did you do the Silent Valentino movie? I followed that all along on Facebook because I just love
No,
that.
that one, actually, that one wasn't
was-
one of mine. The movie I did with Terry was called Evie Rose. It was a story actually very personal to my own heart about a friend of mine who was 100 years old. And when we asked Terry to do it, she said, I think I can play 100. So Terry was a picture of my best friend in that film. And we just bonded ever since. So she's a very special lady.
Yeah, she's good. I mean, I've seen her all my life. I'm 71, so I know who Terry Moore is for sure. So, yeah. And then my dad was Little Roy Wiggins, played steel guitar for Eddie Arnold, and then I'm kind of known for kissing Dolly Parton.
Wow! Can I join with you?
Pardon?
So I told you Albert was funny. Hey, Tosh, tell them who you are. Go ahead.
Yes. So hi everyone. I'm Natasha Rumbos, but people call me Tosh, just easier. I'm a singer-songwriter. I do a lot of Latin urban reggaeton music, and I live in Miami. I've been doing my own original music for about to be 5 years. And it's always been a journey. I've always been, learning about myself and about my craft and my artistry. And currently I have about 6 singles out, but I just took out last week a remix to one of my songs. I collaborated with a Colombian singer that found me on Instagram, and we created a nice cool remix verse. So I've been on that. On top of that, I do digital marketing. I teach people how to grow their social media, how to create content the right effective way, all the little bits and pieces of having an online business and making it successful in the digital space. And on top of that, I dabble in a beauty influencer as well. So I'm just dabbling a little bit of everything and, making myself a very well-rounded person. And that's me.
Now, Corey, I've seen your mind spinning. Now that you've heard everybody what they're doing, what do you say when it comes to taxes? It's not always about tax season.
Well,
year-round.
here's what I will tell everybody. Let me tell you, my name is Albert Corey. I'm the only white guy in ALYA, Florida, in the Miami area. Been there 30 years on the same street. I don't know where you're from in Miami. What area?
I live in Sunny Isles.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, on the beach. I'm in beautiful downtown ALYA.
I love it.
That's right. I'm always there. There's how you get a hold of me. But here's my tip of the day. For everybody who's doing music, they're going to get your contractors. You're going to get 1099s. Raise your hand that you can open up a company, make sure all the money's put in your company. Do not open up LLCs. You want to, because LLC, you're going to be a single member, and that's bad because the IRS can see everything because it goes on your personal return. This is what I've been coaching and doing for almost 40 years, and I have all my stuff everywhere. We've served over 150,000 clients since 1985, making sure that they pay less to the IRS without getting an IRS letter or an audit. And the cool thing is we got clients from coast to coast, from Key West to Seattle, from Maine to San Diego. Hell, remember everybody said about doing remote stuff during COVID? Well, some of you youngsters won't realize we've been doing stuff since the days of fax machines. But we've been doing remote before the word remote was cool. With a real office in Hialeah, Florida. So make sure you have a sub-S company open make sure you get everything is to the 1099, because they're always going to pay you as a contractor. Unless you work for as an actress for CA or Disney. Disney always pays W-2s, because I did Disney people. Or there's that other big company, CA or something like that, that you're going to get a 1099. So make sure it's always paid at 1099. Make sure you have a big bank. What's a big bank? Make sure you're not in First National Bank of Idaho, because here's what's going to happen. They're going to have lower Zells, because I don't know about you, everybody uses Zelle today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, the little banks aren't going to let you, you'll have like a $200 Zelle. I don't know how much you can pay on $200 Zelle unless you're paying your boyfriend for half the dinner cost. And the bigger banks give you more things to do. But make sure, and now here's another cool tip. If you're making the big bucks, make sure you're in one of the 6 states that don't have state income tax. Florida is one of them. Because we have no state income tax, so it's real easy to do. And
what about Texas?
What's that? In Texas, too. And one of the 6 states. Yes.
Okay.
Since you're doing competition stuff, they're going to pay you a contractor. So I'm sure when you do that comedy show, if you win, they're going to give you a 1099. So make sure when you fill out the W-9, which is contractor work, you make sure you put the company name and information.
Okay.
So you pay less to the government. And that's kind of what I've been doing. Besides growing my stuff through Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm probably the only old man who does Facebook and Instagram posts and YouTube.
Love this.
When it comes to, this song, Hope, why did you write that song? Because it's beautiful. I wanted to know.
Thank you. It's a very special song. And, the title of the song sort of says a lot about what this song is about. And even though it's a very deep song, if you will listen to it closely, all the lyrics are kind of simple, but it was one of the most effortless songs that I've ever written. And it was my personal response on whatever I see outside of my window. I was listening to the news at that day, and things were just horrible. And I just said to myself, something's got to change. This world is in trouble. And I felt like I really wanted to write a song. So same day I was writing, I went to studio and we sat together with my musical partner, and we wrote a song in a day, recorded in a day. And as soon as we posted it and distributed it, people reacted so wonderfully to it, which made me think that there was such a needed message.
That's beautiful. We're going to play that song in a little bit. So Tosh, since you've got 2 singers on it here, I'd like to know what your question would be to them. One has done 50 million views and counting on her music videos. The other one's hiding her music, and she's got a beautiful voice because now she switched over to the other side. So that's interesting.
Wait, first of all, I want to be did we have her mom last week?
Yes.
Okay, I'm the resemblance is crazy.
That makes me so happy. My mom is beautiful, so that's a huge compliment.
I was like, wait, did we interview her last week with a different name?
I know.
Okay,
That's
now I see the mom daughter. The mom daughter. Yes. Okay. So, the question for both of you, what are your what inspires you to continue on, the dream? There's ups and downs and everything in music wise, especially in this industry. What is your why, to what you're putting out there?
ALYA, do you want to go first?
I certainly can. My journey as an artist was not as straightforward. Sometimes you get these wonderful stories that this is all the person does. That's what they wanted. And it was so easy. And they grew up in a specific family that helped them to pick this path and go along very easily. My journey to become a musician was not very easy. It was such a curved road with so many obstacles, and with the immigration, it was changing the profession, and with motherhood. When I have 3 children, and when the children were little, obviously I put all my ambitions very, very high on the shelf, and only came back when I felt like this is the time for me to let them go, and they will actually understand why I'm still pursuing this passion. So at this point, to your to your actually point, Brian, that you said in the beginning of the show, we're very hardworking. We're very persistent. If you started something, and that's what my dad used to tell me, like, if you're already in a game, you're not going to stop. Even if you don't know how to do something, you just keep going, because ultimately you will get to whatever you go into. The only way you succeed, you keep going. You lose if you're going to stop. So I was just keep going, because very often being an artist is extremely frustrating. There is a lot of people out there that have their opinion about you and criticize whatever you're doing without understanding how much they don't see. So just, I don't know, to follow the dream. I would say just perseverance, follow the dream. I already put so much into that. And on top of that, I think also very important that I tell myself sometimes, if you're not going to get your creative spirit out there, it's going to burn you from the inside. And I don't want to be 100 years old sitting somewhere in front of a campfire and saying, oh my gosh, I wish I could do that. So this is kind of what I promised to myself. I'm going to do that no matter what. So there's not going to be if in my future.
I love that. I mean, that's very powerful. I feel like the whole persistence and keep going thing is definitely relatable. I mean, for me, I've been acting for longer than I've been singing and writing music. So my persistence has definitely come from acting for nearly 20 years. I'm either really tenacious or really stupid. We'll see. But with the music, I started writing when I was about 13 because a couple of big things had happened in my life and I just needed an outlet. And honestly, at the time I was watching the show Nashville, and that kind of got me excited about writing things. And I liked the idea of getting my guitar out. And I started already learning to play guitar and just kind of trying and seeing what happened. And I wrote a song, which I actually returned to the other day. And I was like, actually, that's not too bad for a first song. And since then, I've continued writing. So for me, my why has been related to using it as an outlet for myself, and in turn hoping that someone will relate to the music and like it and connect, and hopefully it helps them in some way. But it's definitely been more of an internal thing for me, as just another way to express myself and what I'm going through. So when I say my music is my journal, I mean it quite literally.
Hey, Albert, you were going to ask a question. Go ahead. It's a good question.
Sure. For all you musicians out there, what's the one genre of songs you want to list that you listen to on Spotify? So what do you like to listen to when you're driving or walking? I guess that'd be the question.
Well, for me, you will find a lot of reggaeton in my songs, a lot of salsa. I love listening to Mark Anthony. I love some bachata in there. So a little bit of everything from the Latin spectrum, and then maybe some EDM for me as well. That's a good workout music for me.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm
a sucker for pop. Because it's just everywhere. It's on my social media, it's on the radio. I'm really into Teddy Swims at the moment, and I know he's kind of classified as pop, but it's like a heartfelt pop. And I really like, if that's a genre, I love that genre where it's like moody, but it's still upbeat. That's like a really like a sweet spot for me for music.
My playlist is very diverse, but I would say the majority of the tunes that you could find would be something relaxing, something very soothing, new age music. I really, really love exploring music on different frequencies, because I'm sort of researching for myself as a musician this subject, and I'm very curious about it. I'm also listening to a lot of pop music, especially when I'm driving with my children. There is like a lot of so I'm very dependent.
You have a choice what to listen to when you're driving.
Yeah, right.
I know, I don't.
Nah.
Get a lot of audiobooks actually.
See, for me, I don't listen to Spotify. I listen to Pandora. I'm a Pandora and YouTube guy.
Oh, it's the same.
I use Spotify.
Yeah,
Like
I'm a Spotify user as well.
Yeah, same.
But I listen to it totally. Hi, everybody. I'm Terry Marie. I've been with Brian since 2014 as a host, entertainment host, and I do fitness competitions. I'm also in the area of orthopedics, and I also do some art. I've been acting off and on all my whole life. I cannot sing at all, so I'm not a singer. So I don't join you guys on that. But my playlist is very different than all you guys's. So it's more of like hair bands from the 80s and grunge rock. That gets me going at the gym. That's the kind of stuff I listen to. So
Rachel and Howard, which outlets do you listen to?
Oh,
I listen to Pandora, and I'm really stuck on Susan Bowles, and I love Wild Horses. That her rendition of that is I just love it. So I listen to Susan Bowles all the time. Her channel.
I listen to everything. I just tell her, hey, Alexa, play music I like. And then I'm interested in what she thinks I like, which I'm like, I don't like that. But anyway, whatever.
But Spotify is cool because they make playlists for you. And
that's what I love.
Take the stuff that I want to listen to at the gym. So I'll just kind of put like, okay, I like Motley Crue, and like, let's bring me a bunch of stuff that's, from the 80s. I love it.
Isabella, I was going to ask you, when did you know you wanted to direct? Was that the last thing on your bucket list? Is that what happened?
It's so funny.
But also, to get Terry Moore, she's fascinating. She was gorgeous. That's a story that's never really been told, obviously.
Well, exactly. Honestly, that's why I wanted to tell the story. I mean, I fell into directing, I feel like in an unusual way. I've not met someone who had the same experience, which was completely by accident. And I didn't even realize I directed it until we were editing. And I know that sounds really ridiculous, but because my intent was just to tell Terry's story and it was about Terry, it didn't even cross my mind what my role was in all that. I just wanted to tell her story and it to be as honest as possible. And then this whole documentary came out of it. And towards the end, I was like, I guess I directed this whole thing. And it sounds so bizarre because I still put in all the work that I would have done even if I'd known I was a director from the beginning. But it wasn't with the mentality of directing it. It was with the mentality of how do I make this the best I can for Terry? And so I'm very fortunate that I ended up directing it. And this became my first directing credit. And I wouldn't want it to be anything else, if I'm being honest. And then getting Terry, I mean, like I said, we met on a film in 2019 and we became fast friends. As I mentioned, that film was about a friend of mine who was 100. So I definitely seem to have a thing about being friends with old ladies.
I do. I'm right there with you. Yeah, I love that.
They're the best. And so Terry, I met her in 2019 and we literally just became best friends. And I've seen her all the time and I see her nearly every day at the moment. Like I'm going to see her constantly, especially with the festival and everything, just giving her updates and sending photos and stuff. But she has the most incredible stories, not just the stories that we know about, but like the most random things. Like she told me a story about how she helped something in the CIA. I'm not going to go into it because I don't know if I'm allowed to, but it was something to do with the CIA. And I was like, whoa, okay, sure. I mean, I love that. And it turns out that story was verified by someone who they met in the CIA like years later. So the stories that this woman has is just, I couldn't even fit all of them in a 20-minute documentary. So my goal is to turn it into a feature because I have like 5 hours of footage and I want to intercut it with interviews of people she's worked with, like Leonardo DiCaprio, John Travolta, people who love her, like Quentin Tarantino loves her. So there's all these different people that I know I have access to through different means in my life, but I want to do a feature with those interviews in it. And like people like Robert Wagner as well. He's become a really good friend of mine now through Terry. So these incredible people that are just part of Terry's life that want to be in this documentary, but there's only so much you can do in 20 minutes. So my goal is to do a feature and then include all these other crazy stories that she has as well.
Where can people, where's it showing next? So people can try to check it out.
It will, so it's just screened at Holly Shorts this past Saturday, which was the 17th. It will be at Lady Filmmakers Festival as well in Beverly Hills at the end of September. The festival runs from the 25th through the 30th, but I don't have an exact date of when it's screening yet. And then I'm waiting to hear back from a few other festivals, but in the next few weeks and maybe few months, I don't have exact dates yet, it will be on the documentary channel as well to watch. They approached me at Holly Shorts and want to put it up, and I was like, you know what? The more people that see Terry's story, the better. So please. So that'll be up there as well for people to watch once that site goes live.
Good for you. Hey, Albert, I always want to know this. What happens when say someone like Prince doesn't have a will and they have the estate, and all of a sudden all the kids are arguing over stuff. What's your advice to people like that? Because most people of color don't have wills, and
Can
all of
I
a
tell
sudden,
you real quick?
yeah.
Simple thing is make sure that you settle quickly, because if you can't settle, the government's going to take half. The biggest story on that, I don't know if you ever know, the Miami Dolphins. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
well, if you're in the Miami Dolphins, the Robbie family started it.
Yep.
He died, Joe Robbie died, and the kids argued over the estate till Wayne Huizenga came in and bought everything out at 20 cents on the dollar so they can pay the IRS, because they couldn't agree. So he bought everything, paid their bill, and ended up making $3 billion. So,
why
make sure everybody agrees.
Terry.
Well, I have a trust.
What's that?
That's why you have a trust. That's why you have a trust.
No, but what we're saying is if you don't have anything,
Yeah.
What I would always say is open up a corporation or something, or a trust, and just put your kids in there without them even knowing about it. And then
okay, go ahead.
Yeah. What?
So then you
Oh,
open
no,
up
if you have a trust. Yeah. Oh, go on.
Go ahead. Sorry. Then
No,
if they die, they can just take right over. Then they fight over who gets their share. Well, you just give equal shares to everybody. And you say, it's like, I think it's called I'm not no lawyer, but it's like a ladybird trust or something, that until you die, the kids can't touch it. But the minute they die, you die, it automatically goes to them.
Yeah.
What made you want to get in to be a tax? I mean, to be the tax man, as I would say.
That is a story unto itself, where in 1984, I was working in my parents' business because I couldn't get a job in 82. So I was working with them, running motels and real estate, which I'm real good at that. Until mom says to me, and I'm Lebanese. So Lebanese people, mom, we never quote unquote got paid. You want to go on vacation? Here's the money. You just go and go. So then until one day, mom comes up and goes, Albert, yeah, mom, you're the IRS. I go, huh? Who? What's that? And then I took an H&R Block class in 1984, 40 years ago. And that was 150,000 returns later.
Wow.
A lot of people have come through and the funny thing is, I still have what I call the original 12. There's actually one person left out of the first 12.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Wow. You know what? I got to play this song Hope, because it's been on my mind. I played it like 2 hours ago, and so I'm still thinking it. Tosh, I don't know if you had a chance to listen to it, but Rebel, if you got a chance, let's play this song. I think it's beautiful. She's probably setting it up.
I mean, just the name already kind of gives me what it's going to be about. Yeah.
Are you looking to play this whole song or a portion
You
of
can
the song?
play a portion. Go ahead.
You just turn it up just a little bit.
Through the longest nights when hope is out of your sight, in the darkness when the world seems so cold, you feel like all is lost and you're all alone. There's a place for you to belong. Let me help you find a way to believe. I'll say I'll be your hope. I will be your dream, shining in the dark, there for you to see. I'll be your hope. I will be your dream. like a beacon in the night. I'll forever sing, I'll be your hope. There is a guiding light in the night to help you when the fighting voices.
That's
It was very good.
beautiful.
That
Yeah.
was beautiful.
Mhm.
That was beautiful. Yeah, it kind of reminded me of like when I used, like when I was younger, I used to go to church every Sunday, and like a lot of the songs were like, very like, about hope and about reaching, and so it just brought me back to that, and it just like made me like really warm and happy on the inside. So
Oh
it
my
was
goodness.
beautiful.
Thank you so
Beautiful.
much.
It's
That's
very peaceful and calming.
That's exactly what I was kind of aiming for, because as humans, our life is so chaotic. We have so much going on, and really, what I'm looking as an artist and my everyday craft is just to bring this warm sensation, like a blanket that you can put on your shoulders when you feel like you need it, and my first Grammy that I received being a part of the New Age album, Best New Age album, which is this kind of music, uplifting music that brings light to your life. And the great story about this particular song, when we released it, I posted in my social media message to my followers and suggested them to go listen to the song and see if the tune would inspire them to do something wonderful. Nothing big, something very simple, something good. As I named it, little act of kindness. And I was blown away to see how wonderful response was. I think after first week we were trending on TikTok because people were filming these little videos and putting my song on the background, doing like little things, like literally somebody was showing how they make nice meal when the husband comes back from work. Somebody was hugging the child and saying this is how love looks like. Somebody was giving a flower to the stranger. It was so beautiful. It's almost like a movement now. I'm like every single day people keep tagging me on this post, and I don't even know how to describe this feeling, but it's so rewarding to see how much good this song, just a simple tune with a simple lyric, could bring.
That's sweet. Brian, you're muted. We can't hear you.
What was it like when you won your first Grammy?
It was such a funny story. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't like, my social media was not very intense like it's right now. Right now, I have a lot of like active followers, and they communicate with me a lot. And whatever I post kind of becomes a story by itself. But back then, it was such a big story. And I remember that I actually wanted to post about it, but I'll tell the story. So my Grammy was a little bit unexpected. My appearance. I have a child that's
Okay. Bring her in.
Not right now.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
I'm on air right now, okay? Can you please go? No, not right now. Not right now. So
You can sit on your lap.
Okay, I've got one upstairs.
I was a part of the album that received nomination for Grammy, but I wasn't planning to go to the red carpet, and I've never been on the red carpet. Great.
It's fine. It's fine.
That's okay.
That shows you're real. Miss Paulina.
Real close.
I love that.
I never been on the big red carpet, and wasn't going to, because I was just one of the like 5 members of the band, and I was very happy that we got nomination and everything. And the night before the Grammy, I received the call from the lead singer, and she said, you have to go, because like we came together, the group, and producer said you should go, and the PR people said you should go. And I'm like, what are you talking about? People prepare like for months, they do all this content. Here's my dress that I picked, and I have nothing, like, really nothing. I was so not ready. But as I said before, if you're in a game, you have to go. So I found my outfit. I put it myself together, was working the carpet, and then we won. So that was surreal experience. And because you won, they asked us to stay for the whole duration of the Grammys. And the Grammys actually, it's a huge event. Whatever people know from telecast is just literally very, very end of this whole event, which we started at 9:30, and the telecast starts somewhere around 6 p.m. So all this time we were working the carpets and the outlets, and for whatever reason at that day, for people who won and had to stay, they didn't have designated place for food. So, like, as you can imagine, about 6 p.m., you're very hungry. And all our like Grammy winners from the first portion of the Grammys were kind of scouting around trying to find something. And the only thing we found was like unshelled peanuts and some.
Oh no.
And we like, I have this picture on my phone somewhere in here, like literally like 15 Grammy winners eating, like shelling these peanuts, like little scrolls. While I'm doing this, I started like reading the press and found an article somewhere on People magazine or something about what a wonderful food they provided for Grammy artists. I'm like, where is this food? Like,
I know where they put the food. That's the first thing I go and find. It's the food in the water because they're long days.
I was starving. I'm like, literally, you won a Grammy and you're eating that. That's your reward.
Peanuts.
But it was surreal. Another funny moment was, I mean, you already saw my child. So when I won Grammy and I came home, like, I won Grammy. I'm like, okay. And then when I received the silver, you see there was a button. There was a celebration for the whole week. You know, they give you actually have this thing in here. When they send me like the button when you have like over.
Oh, that's cool.
Hey, let me see that. Let's see that.
Hey. Alina,
come on,
that's even more important. You got a silver button.
Oh, that's great.
Wow.
Good for you.
Wow.
Oh, I love that.
Can you make my 1,000 go to 100,000? How to grow a business?
Honestly, only you can do that. And just as we said about, so that was celebration for the week. Nobody cared about Grammy, but when I received this button, they were so happy. They were like, "Oh, Mom, they're pretty." Like, okay.
Hey, we got a couple minutes left. Hey, Howard, let's talk about what you're wearing, what's coming up, and those paintings in the back.
That's a Van Gogh painting. It's called Casanova. It was actually in the 80s, the rendition of Velasquez's Assistant. And the original was like the most expensive painting in the world at that time. So it's an interpretation of that. I'm a big Van Gogh fan. I've got about 6 pieces of his. Elizabeth Taylor had some. Let's see. Neil Simon, Marsha Mason had some in their house. He was in the Walter Finley Gallery. He was a big artist, and actually he dated one of my stepfather's secretary, and came out when Saturday Night Live, and she said, "Come over here, dance for us like Travolta," and I did, and I became friends, and I bought a lot of his. So, and then I got a new jacket. So, you know, I'm a clothes horse. What can I say? I mean, I got more clothes than probably most women. So, except my wife.
Give your social media links so they can reach out to you. It's the scrolling on the bottom. Howard. Oh, he probably.
Oh, what? Howard Wiggins Facebook, Howard Wiggins Twitter. And of course, movies review and more. And I'd like you to go to watch my movies that are on Passion TV. Well, it's one movie, and it's My Father Made Me Marry a Billionaire, and I play a pretty sinister old man, and I like that. So.
You do it well.
Rachel?
Thank you.
You can follow me, Rachel Roberts, at Rachel Roberts Recipes, or Rachel Ann Roberts on Facebook. And if you haven't watched Coffee Talk, you got to see me in the morning doing Coffee Talk. It's a lot of fun.
And Tosh, talk about what you got coming up in your social media.
Yeah, so you guys can follow me at Vocally Tosh You can get all my music videos on YouTube. It's also Vocally Tosh on all social media. And right now, actually today, I got a draft of an upcoming song that I collaborated with an artist in LA. So that should be coming out soon as everything gets finalized and mastered. And so that will be new music coming in a couple weeks, hopefully. But for now, you can just check Dime Una Cosa remix. Give it some love. It's been doing really good. And yeah, just continuing on this journey of life.
Terry.
Terry Marie Nonstop on all platforms: Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. So you can find me.
Albert.
Sorry, my camera on my Mac just went poof. You can find me, get this one, everybody, it's hard to remember, bettercallalbert.com. Which means that you get everything. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. You get to book a free call with me. So you get to learn everything Albert at bettercallalbert.com.
Love it.
And talk about your profile on Easy Way Network too. Go ahead, Albert.
Oh yeah, I'm also on Easy Way Network, YouTube. I'm probably the only tax dude that's probably omnipresent. So I got to give you the best return possible because I'm easy to find. I'm an easy guy.
Isabella, I'm gonna ask Holly for a link. I gotta see this movie because I'm curious.
Please, I would love that. Holly has them. I can send it to you. But yeah, I mean, my social media is at Isabella_B_T. It's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook's just my name, Isabella Blake Thomas. I have a website, isabellablakethomas.com, if you want to look at that. And mother-daughter, we have Mother and Daughter Ent, E-N-T, on all social media, and motheranddaughterenT.com as a website, so you can check that out too. But yeah, the documentary will be up on the documentary channel soon. This is very exciting. But yeah, that's me, and I've got a couple exciting things coming out this year. And it's always on my Instagram, so it'll all be up there.
Let me ask you this one thing before you go. What's your bucket list? I love these photos.
Wow.
Oh, what's my bucket list?
Wow.
My bucket list. I mean, wow, these photos.
Look
Wow.
My bucket
Sure
list
you're
is
not
all
a
related to
superstar model,
travel.
or are you just trying to block my pretty face? Which one is it? I think it's them blocking my face. That's why Alina got thrown out. 'Cause my good looks is taken over.
Well, my bucket list is all related to traveling for me. I would love to go to a variety of places around the world. Like I am a road tripper, I'm a traveler, so there are definitely places that I haven't been to that I'd love to go to. But I actually have a book that's called My Bucket List, and it's laid out like certain questions about these things. So I'm adding to that as I go.
Cool. And the lady who's got the silver, she got to show that plaque again. You know, not everybody has that. We got to see this. How many subscribers is that?
Views. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is just gorgeous. Where are you going to hang it?
It's just sitting here in my studio. This is actually
Alina, can I ask you one simple question? Because I'm the money dude.
Yes.
Hopefully it's set up so it's monetized, so the Facebook can send you a couple of dollars every month. I hope so.
Yes.
Thank you. That's all I worry about. Okay.
It is. Yeah. It is very funny how little money you get from this trip.
No, but it's free money, right?
Well, I guess so. I don't know if it's free money. You work so hard to.
I know, but it's money that you're getting while you're talking to me.
You're right.
Thank you. So I'll take that money anytime.
Thank you, Albert.
Give your social media links for everybody.
Okay. Well, all my social media links is Better Call Albert. Everybody can take out their phone, and there's my little scan button to go to Better Call Albert, and you can get a free call with me when you go to bettercallalbert.com. See, that's when I was acting as a doctor counting money, and that's
love you, Albert.
And
so
Aliyah, cool. Where can I find you? I see it on the bottom. Is that all your stuff
yes,
down there?
On the Instagram, it's ALYA.Michelson. Like my two main platform, I would say, would be Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. On TikTok, it's ALYA the Artist and ALYA Official on YouTube. So please, really, really still, sometimes you feel, you see these messages, like little videos on the Instagram, like follow this artist. I'm still answering to all the calls and messages by myself. So That's me. But I'm doing that not because you big or small. I really enjoy conversation with people because I really appreciate the input. I really appreciate the suggestions. I really care about what people think about my music because ultimately I do it for you. I do to make your life to be a little bit better, a little bit brighter, hopefully.
All right, everybody. I've got to thank everybody. Tosh, Rachel,
Thank you.
Terry, Albert, Isabella, Howard, and the young lady with that silver. I love that.
Wow.
That might be one of my next goals, maybe, but I doubt it. All right. So anyhow, I always say this. Thank you, everybody, for coming on Movie Reviews and More. Have a good night tonight, a better day tomorrow. If you see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours. There's a lot of mental health issues going on a lot of that. I'm Brian Sebastian. This is Movie Reviews and More, and we will see you next week.